mean, there's a whole separate section of the second class township code regarding.
Go back to the Zoom link real quick. Somebody who's online, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
I can hear you.
okay. Paul, you're muted.
All good.
Okay, good. All right.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I will call the February 23rd, 2026 meeting of the Newtown Township Board of Supervisors to order. I will note that the board did meet in executive session this evening at 6 o'clock where we discussed the following litigation matters: 3 zoning enforcement actions, 1 UCC enforcement action, 1 zoning application, and in regards to a personnel matter, an employment termination matter. With that being said, Mr. Neese, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Altieri,
Here.
Mr. San Francesco,
Here.
Ms. Chanlis,
Here.
Ms. Grasso,
Here.
Mr. Russo.
Here.
Your engineer is online, your manager's here, and your solicitor's here.
Thank you very much. We'll now move down to section 5, the moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. And we'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Section 6 is the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made by Supervisor Russo, seconded by Supervisor Grasso. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Section 7 is public comment for agenda items only. If there's any members of the public who wish to provide any public comments, please come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, or raise your hand on the Zoom. Do you see any hands raised?
James, any hands raised? No.
All right, so we'll note that there is no public comment either in the room or on the virtual option. We are obviously a hybrid model tonight because of the storm that happened last night. So we appreciate everybody who was watching and everybody who's participating both in person as well as via Zoom. I will now move down to section 8, minutes 8.1. Can I get a motion approving the minutes from the January 5th, 2026 reorganization meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made by Supervisor San Francesco, seconded by Supervisor Russo. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 8.2, can I get a motion approving the minutes from the February 9th, 2026 meeting?
So moved. Second.
Motion is made by Supervisor Caruso, seconded by Supervisor Chandler. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Section 9, reports. 9.1, report from the Police Department. Chief Lunn, do you have anything to add to your report?
Nothing to add.
Thank you very much. And if any supervisor has any questions, well, actually, yes. Any supervisor have any questions?
Not for chief, no.
Say it again, sir.
Recording in progress.
Christopher Race?
Raise their hand.
Was that Chris Lunt? Was it the chief? Okay, so we'll go through these reports, and if it's public comment, we'll go back to that person. So whoever the individual is that's on Zoom that raised their hand, we're going to continue to go through the reports. And if you are raising your hand to participate for a public comment, we'll go back up after this, after the reports are done. 9.2 is a report from the Fire Department. Chief Young, do you have anything to add to your report?
Oh, that may be Chris.
Oh,
That may be.
that might be James. Can you let him in? That might be him.
I actually have a question for Chief Young.
All right, let's let him in first.
All right, Chris, you should be able to talk.
Okay,
Chief, how are you?
good. How are you?
Good. Great job last night with everything.
Thank you. Everybody
Do you have
did
anything
great.
to add to your report?
I have nothing to add.
All right,
What?
Supervisor Russo, you have a question?
Yeah, what happened at the paper mill house the other day, Chief? Can you shed a little light on that? Because it wasn't very clear on what I saw.
I was away, but from what I heard, it was an outlet and the guys troubleshot it and used the thermal imaging camera and checked out everything. I'd have to look at the report just to verify that, but that's what I was told.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Chief Young? All right, Chief, thank you very much.
Thank you.
9.3, report from the Public Works Department. Director Sharretts, I hope, is sleeping after that night. So if anybody has any questions, we'll hold off on that until next month. 9.4, report from our Codes Department. Director Reczek, do you have anything to add to your report?
I don't see Andy on.
All right. 9.5, report from the Library Director. I think Ms. Caruso is on vacation, so I don't think she's on. Is that correct, Steve?
I think that's correct.
Okay, 9.6, report from the Township Engineer. Mr. Johnson.
Hi, good evening. Sorry. We're continuing to work on the projects that are listed in the report, and I have nothing additional to add.
Eric, can I just ask you two questions in your report? With regards to the capital projects, Route 3 and Charles Ellis Boulevard, and then the traffic signal dedication improvements, both of them say that we're waiting for, or both updated signal permit plans have been signed by the township and submitted to PennDOT. Do we have a time frame on what we think PennDOT's going to turn around on that? Like, what's their normal turnaround time?
So the last remaining comment was to get the plan signed and returned. We did that a week or so ago. So we would hope within 30 days that we would have the approved permit for those improvements.
Awesome. All right, perfect. Any other questions for the Township Engineer?
I was just going to ask for the Bishop Hollow sidewalk, installation of sidewalks, obtaining easements from property owners. Do we have an estimated timeline on that too?
So, we just are presenting them. We've talked to two of them. There's only two needed now.
Okay,
So after all that, most of it is just the township property. And so we're just going to do it. PennDOT asked us to do a resolution or a easement to ourselves. Didn't really make much sense. So what we're going to do is a resolution just authorizing the project for the specific properties involved. Most of the properties aren't, it's all in the right of way, so there's no easement needed. So we're down to two, one on the corner of Campus Boulevard and Bishop Hollow, which Mr. Neese has already talked to. And then the other one is Hunter's Run. And the agreement's prepared, but we just have to sit down with them. And I think George is doing that because Mr. Neese has a connection with Hunter's Run.
okay, great. And then the sidewalk is going to go in? Is that the plan?
It will then become a bid project
Oh, right.
and we'll go out to bid and we'll move forward, yes.
Any other questions for the engineer? All right, 9.7, report from the township manager, Mr. Neese.
Yes, I really don't have a whole lot to report. I would say that our good work from our public works team, getting the roads taken care of. I would make note that in addition to the snow removal, there were quite a few limbs that had come down. And so throughout the night, they removed several of those. There are a couple that I think are still blockages that they're still working through, but we're moving forward. And we are down to 13 people or 13 Pico customers. I shouldn't say 13 people because sometimes there's more than one person per Pico customer. Sometimes there's like an apartment building or something like that, but we're down to 13 Pico customers that don't have power.
Perfect. Any questions for the township manager? All right. Section 10, payments, 10.1. Can I get a motion approving a refund of $275 to SL Commercial LLC for a permit review fee overpayment as it was determined the property address associated with the permit is not part of Newtown Township?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Motion is made by Supervisor Russo, seconded by Supervisor San Francisco. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Section 11, bills, 11.1. I've reviewed the bills and I'll make a motion to approve the bills on the 2025 bills on check register dated February 23rd, 2026, totaling $7,018.28.
Second.
Motion was made by the chair, seconded by, I think that was Supervisor San Francisco. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 11.2. I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 bills on check register A dated February 23rd, 2026, totaling $153,494.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by the chair, seconded by Supervisor Grasso. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. 11.3. I'll make a motion ratifying the 2026 bills on check register B dated February 23rd, 2026, totaling $80,918.64.
So moved.
Motion is made by the chair, seconded by Supervisor Grasso. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Section 12, new business 12.1. Consider accepting payment from Allstate in the amount of $4,970.27 for the date of loss of 1/10/2026. If we can get this motion made and seconded, and then we'll turn it over to the township manager during board discussion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made by Supervisor Chandler, seconded by Supervisor Grasso. Mr. Neese.
Yes, from time to time, we'll have somebody do damage to township property by usually a car accident is the way that it happened, and that's the case in this situation. And the insurance company chooses to try to settle with us. They don't ever want to pay the full replacement cost because they say there's a depreciation that goes along with that. And so they came back and determined that the depreciation on the damaged item, which I believe was a street light, was about $1,000. And so in order for us to settle on this, Rich felt like we needed to bring it to the board that you're accepting that payment. It's very similar to what would happen if somebody hit your car. Your car, you may have paid, I don't want to date myself too far back, but let's say if you paid $30,000 for your car, you probably can't buy one for 30 today, but anyway, paid $30,000 for your car. And, 2 years in, if the car's worth 18,000, and the insurance company is only going to give you 18,000 for it, kind of thing.
Any other questions for the township manager? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 12.2, can I get a motion approving placement of the ad in the 2026 Newtown Square Historical Society Program Book, Newtown Square, 1776, at a cost of $450?
So moved. Second.
Motion was made by Supervisor Grasso, seconded by Supervisor Chandler. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, motion carries. 12.3. Can I get a motion approving the Friends of the Libraries Once Upon a Run 5K event taking place on April 19th, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made by Supervisor Chandler, seconded by Supervisor Grasso. Is there any board discussion? Mr. Neese?
So this is a Friends of the Library event they're doing here in town. It's a fundraiser. And so they're doing a 5K and then a really nice event afterwards. And so it's going to involve some road closures in the community. There'll be a period of time that Bishop Hollow will be closed during the run. And then they're running into I'm going to call it the Springton Point area, the Stony Brook area, and doing that. And then coming back onto Campus Boulevard, where the event will be on Campus Boulevard.
Any questions for the township manager?
Yes, Steve, do we check with Nell and all to make sure there's no events going on up there for that date, just because of the chaos of Nell and all?
Okay.
Just coordinate with them. That'd be wonderful. Because sometimes there's tournaments. I know it's a little early for Little League, but tryouts and stuff go on.
They'll definitely be having activity there, but I'll check to see what they have.
Any other questions to the township manager? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 12.4, can I get a motion approving the termination agreement regarding employee number 1049?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made by Supervisor San Francisco, seconded by Supervisor Russo. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we'll move down to section 13, the land development approval. 13.1, consider the application for subdivision approval of 4514 Florida Ave, owned by Allison and Peter Faga. I will note for the record that Mrs. Faga is in the room with her engineer of record, who I'll allow to introduce himself. But before he gets to that, I will just note that this application was previously scheduled to be before us on January 26th. And the day before that, January 25th, we had 9 inches of snow. And today is February 23rd. And the night before, we had 8 inches of snow. So Mrs. Faga, I made this joke to her. I hope that you have no further applications coming before this board in the near future. But I'll turn it over to your engineer.
Yeah, hi. My name's Dave Damon. I'm with H. Gorey Damon Associates. Pete and Allison are proposing a subdivision of 4514 Florida Avenue. It's a lot that's in the R3 zoning district. It's a little unusual in that it has 2 existing dwellings on the single lot. The lot fronts not only on Florida Avenue, but also on Fairview Avenue. And the second dwelling sits somewhat in the middle of the lot. The lot's 300 feet in depth from street to street. They're proposing to demolish that smaller residence in the middle of the lot and construct a home that would front on Fairview Avenue. They received zoning approvals to do that. And we appeared before the Planning Commission and got a recommendation for approval. There were 3 waiver requests. One would be for a preliminary final in 1 step, because it's a relatively minor subdivision with very little new construction. The other was a waiver not to provide 1,000 square feet recreational land for fee in lieu of due to the small scope of the project. And then third, there's no curb or sidewalks in that area. really not, as far as I understand, in really any place in Florida Park. So we're requesting a waiver to not construct those. There also was a issue that came up with the street widening, Fairview Avenue. I think it's only a 40-foot right of way. That standard street would be 50 feet for the township ordinance. So that's, I mean, that was something where in zoning, because we got a zoning variance for the lot area, we're trying to request a waiver not to do that also. Or if we do it, just have it be an easement rather. We didn't want that lot being reduced below what the zoning approval called for. And it's, a pretty straightforward project. There were some conditions where, we're reducing the amount of impervious because there's a rather large driveway that we'd be removing that goes down to Fairview Avenue. But there would also be stormwater management provided, so there's a big benefit there as far as reduction of the runoff from the property and adding of green areas. They agreed to put a privacy fence in for the resident that adjoined on the northeast also. So that's really all I have on the project, if anybody has any questions.
David, I just have one point of clarification. Are you seeking, I thought you were only seeking 3 waivers. Preliminary final preliminary final plans, then 148-27D4 for the 40-foot right of way along Fairview, and then the curbs and sidewalks. I thought that, are you guys not paying, the fee in lieu is only $920. I thought you guys were paying that.
Yeah, that's $920, that's fine. I wasn't.
That's what our code provides a fee in lieu of, and that's what is in the approval resolution.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
They're not seeking a waiver from that.
No, that's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. To make sure I was right on that. And then just out of curiosity, because you are correct. This is very straightforward. Seeing the work the file guys have done, so I'm very excited for this. Has really no bearing on this, but I know it shows on the plan sheds to be removed. Is that why the existing side yard is 0.9 feet? Is that what's giving that on lot? What is this? The lot 1, it says sheds to be removed. I'm guessing that's why you have a side yard setback on the existing of 0.9.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Well, actually, it's the 0.9 is for the dwelling that's being removed on that south west
Okay.
property line.
Got it. Okay, perfect. I will note that we do have the township engineer's letter dated December 19th, 2025, and I'll open this up for board comment afterwards, but everything else in here, I mean, it's a pretty clean review letter outside of the waivers you're seeking tonight. Everything's a will comply.
That's correct.
Okay. And the planning commission from Newtown Township dated December 30th, 2025, they are recommending the waivers as well as a clean review letter as well. And then the county, this was heard by the county on, I believe it was scheduled for,
I think February 20th.
so was it Thursday, I guess, Wednesday, Thursday? Do we know what their comments were? Anybody know? No.
I have that.
Was it,
It was approval recommendation.
that's all I was asking for.
Or-
Perfect.
Short letter.
Eric, do you have anything you want to add from your review letter?
No, I think as you're saying, it's pretty straightforward. And I would even say regarding the question on the offer of right-of-way for Fairview, the existing space between the right-of-way and the existing road is already 12 feet. So even if we needed improvements along the frontage in the future, we don't require additional right-of-way to do so.
Perfect.
So Eric, you're saying that the right of way is already present and that it's just not to that width at this point in time, correct?
Correct. So by default, the code requires a 50-foot right-of-way, and in a time when that is not 50-foot off provided, the code calls for offering of the additional right-of-way to get to 50. In this case, the current right-of-way is 40 foot, which would mean they would have to offer 5 feet of right of way, which would mean we'd have one small section of 70 feet increased by 5 feet. But we already have a right of way much larger than the road that's already there. So even if somebody wanted to come in and put sidewalk in the future, we have 12 feet already to work with along the property frontage.
Okay. And then one other question for you. So they seeking the waiver and put the money up in lieu of the sidewalk, is that correct?
No, we're not.
Again,
Get Eric.
I said my understanding is they are seeking the waiver to not provide it. I mean, I get a decision if you would like to require them to pay a fee is a decision that the board can make, but the way the code is specified is either you provide it unless the board chooses otherwise.
Yeah, Mike, if you're familiar with Florida Park, there's no sidewalks back there at all. And even the the township's planning commission review comments are that the curbs and sidewalks not be mandated, since the surrounding neighborhood itself doesn't have it either. So I mean, it's would be a
So
lot-
we're basically taking these two houses and separating so they can sell one? Is that what we're doing?
Rebuild one.
Right, but you're gonna have two properties and two homes. It makes it more valuable, right?
More conforming. I mean, currently, right now, it's the one property, the two dwellings are tenant occupied. And we're just trying to make it a little bit more conforming. With two, it'll be two families there, but, you know, an updated house. And potentially at some point in time, either updating that home or selling that. We're not really sure what we're gonna do with it.
Well, I don't know, guys. I thought we have the sidewalk ordinance and we're making this property more valuable. We're giving them relief, and I don't care if they don't put the sidewalk in because there's no sidewalks back there, but we've had other people put money up for the sidewalk in other places in town. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but I think that the people that we've had do that have been large scale developers that are doing 15, 18, 20 lot subdivisions, as opposed to a resident developer who is taking a lot. And as I think the way that Mrs. Fogg said that is actually the proper way to put it is putting it more in conformity, demolishing one of the existing dwellings on there and then constructing a new one. You know, I think it fits the character of the neighborhood. I think it's a better improvement than what's back there right now.
Okay.
If I can just make a comment too, Mike, I tend to agree. I think that if we have this as part of the requirements, I think I heard Eric say that eventually if they do put sidewalks back there, I know we're trying to get more walkability.
I think that Florida Park is a unique development. You know, there's just the two roads and it's so cut off from every other neighborhood that once you're in Florida Park, everybody just knows you just walk in the middle of the street, ride your bike in the middle of the street. And, you know, it would be nice to have sidewalks there at some point, but I would think that in the whole Newtown Square community, that probably would be the last place where they would be needed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with some of those points, but I definitely think that is an area where people walk, you know, over, there's the path to cut through to Nell and some of the other places around there. Isn't there?
Not in
No?
Florida Park.
No, Florida
No.
Park.
Where's I thought there was like a connection to, is it Drexel Lodge?
There's not a connection over to Drexel.
Cheryl, you're thinking of the Heights.
Oh,
We
thanks,
talked
Paul.
about putting
Okay.
a connection in at some point. Maybe
Okay.
that's what you're thinking about.
Okay, yeah, okay,
In the Heights there is. Yeah,
okay, that's
yeah.
probably what I was
And
thinking.
everybody always gets the Heights in Florida Park. It would be, you know, I mean, it would be nice to have it, you know, connected out that way, but it's very secluded and, you know, most of the homes in the development are older, they're closer to the road, they're not set back, there's spot building here and there. Homes that are beginning to be updated, but it's the most affordable area to live in Newtown Township.
Anyone else from the board? Rich, do you have anything else to add?
No, I only that would, the second-class township code allows sidewalk projects. And so the township could go in at any time and pass an ordinance and say, we're going to put sidewalks through here and have the residents pay for it at that time. If
Well,
that's
it's fine then. If that's the case, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
All right, I will open it up to if there, well, no, we had an opportunity for public comment at the beginning for the agenda. All right, no other questions from the board? Mr. Dame, do you have anything else you want to add?
No.
Mrs. Fogg, do you have anything else you want to add?
Not this time.
No more applications and no more snow, right?
Yeah.
No, please bring on spring.
They can provide public comment at the end of the meeting, but public comment for agenda items was at the beginning. So we'll move down to 14 resolutions of legislation and action. 14.1, resolution 2026-09, subdivision of 4514 Florida Avenue. And I'll turn it over to Supervisor Caruso.
Resolution number 2026-09, two-lot subdivision approval for Allison and Faga, 4514 Florida Avenue, between Florida and Fairview Avenue, folio number 300000098900. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Newtown Township as follows. The two-lot subdivision set forth in the plans is conditionally approved, subject to the following conditions. A, the applicant will provide new legal descriptions for both parcels reflecting any easements and record new deed reflecting the same. B, the applicant will make the application to the post office in the township for Lot 2 to have an address of 4517 Fairview Avenue. Number 3, no certificates of occupancy for Lot 2 may be granted until such time as all necessary approvals have been received from Newtown Township, Delaware County Municipal Authority and/or DEP as required. D, payment of all outstanding fees, deposits, and costs owed to the township by the applicant shall be made prior to recording of the subdivision plan. E, the applicant will pay a fee in lieu of recreational lands in the amount of $920 per Township Code, Section 184-41. F, compliance with the conditions set forth in the Zoning Hearing Board variance approval. G, the applicants will develop the property and provide the street trees in strict adherence to the plans. And number 2, the approval is also subject to the following additional conditions, all of which have been agreed to by the applicants. A, no walkway has been proposed in lieu of the new driveway in the existing house on Lot 1. If such a walkway is constructed, stormwater management facilities will be required in accordance with Township Code. B, compliance with all of the comments and recommendations set forth in the aforementioned Township Engineer Review Letter. And 3, the following waivers are granted. 148, 12, and 13 to allow for the submission of combined preliminary final plans. 148, 27D4 to allow for a 40-foot wide right-of-way along Fairview Avenue rather than the required 50-foot right-of-way. 148, 34, and 35 so that the curbs and sidewalks need not be installed as the surrounding neighborhood does not have these. 4, the applicant will enter a developer's agreement, stormwater management agreement, and financial security agreement in forms as prepared by the township solicitor. 5, the applicants will comply with all Commonwealth and township laws, regulations, codes, and permitting requirements. And 6, the township manager is authorized to execute all necessary documentation to accomplish this subdivision approval in consultant with the township engineer and solicitor. Resolved this 23rd day of February 2026 at a public meeting of the Board of Supervisors.
That's your motion?
That's my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made by Supervisor Grasso, seconded by Supervisor Chanlis. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. All right, now we'll move it down to, this is actually a typo on the agenda, but it should be public comment now, is section 16. So if there's any public comment from anyone who is in the audience, which there is none now, but we'll go to the virtual audience if there's any public comment. So James, in the order in which the hands were up.
Hi, everybody. Gabrielle Bruno, 116 Stony Brook Boulevard. Greetings in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm concerned about the library's 5K run. I looked it up online. It looked like it was on Campus Boulevard. It's Mr. Neese said it's coming down Stony Brook Boulevard, and I just would respectfully request that we could get some information about that as soon as possible, if the road will be closed, what times, what sort of a crowd is expected. We've not been notified about that. And I guess to my follow-up with that to be just, again, notice to the board that when we purchased our homes and made our investments on Stony Brook Boulevard, we did it lovingly to be a part of Newtown Square, but we did not spend all this money to become the center of the town. And it just seems like a lot of decisions are being made, turning this into like a town center area. We love the parade of the Little League and whatnot, but I do just want to make sure, you know, everybody knows this was a beautiful private neighborhood before it had double yellow lines going down the road and bike paths and all the trees taken down and lots of traffic and everything else. So that's all. I just was concerned when I heard that it was going down Stony Brook Boulevard, and I would ask for as soon as possible notice about if our road will be closed and what that would entail. Thank you. God bless you guys.
Any other public comment? Is there any other public comment over there, James? No other hands? All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.